So this is an interesting spot. I guess it was owned by a family at one point, and there are stools in the ground, and it's a place to watch the sunset, but no sunset right now. And it's next to this monstrosity, whatever that is. So I am going to move on. Looks like they're replanting something here. Trees of some sort. That's awesome. I've been hiking for a couple miles this morning, and I'm ready for first lunch since I've already had breakfast and snack on the way here to the trail and the shuttle, and snack an hour or so ago. I guess it's time for lunch. I was going to sit on those little stools, but I have this thing with EMFs, and I know that I am in no way even a novice in the science behind EMFs, and I know that's where we're headed, and I accept all of that. I remember when I was house hunting in Connecticut, having researched EMFs, and there was a utility company that came out and measured EMFs for us at the house, and I learned a lot. A lot of people were worried about being next to those big electrical lines and so forth, but the guy said, you know, people sleep with alarm clocks next to their head. In fact, with cell phones, with Bluetooth and Wi-Fi like beaming all over the place, and they use a hair dryer every morning. And oh, that looks like a nice spot. Sorry. I'm gonna keep going now. And they cook in front of the stove, and they put stuff in the microwave. And his suggestion was, don't stand in front of the microwave and wait for your food, like back off and just be mindful of all of those things. And there's EMF exposures in lots of different ways. In fact, if you're in New York, he suggested that EMFs go vertical and horizontal, and I want to say all the things. Somebody had commented that I say that a lot, and actually my mom said yesterday that she agrees. I say that all the time. So anyway, I think it's something we need to know about and do our own research and form our own opinions about. And I don't have a strong opinion, but I do have some ideas, and I try to minimize my exposure when I can. I don't have Bluetooth headphones, and I don't have the Bluetooth on my phone on unless I need it, and I don't sleep with my phone next to my head. Things like that. I think all of the little things make a difference. In fact, there's a great story that I've shared before in my yoga classes about the guy walking along the beach, and washed ashore are a bunch of starfish, and he picks one up and throws it back in, and walks down a little bit further and picks one up and throws it back in. And a guy passing in the opposite direction says, you know, you can't save them all. Like, there was thousands of them, right? He wasn't going to save them all. And so the guy picks one up and throws it back in, and he said, I just saved that one. And I think if we just look at life like that, little teeny tiny things that we can do headed in our right direction, not the right direction, because I don't believe there is any universal truth as to what we should be doing and should not be doing. But you know when something feels right for you. And I don't know. Why not? I may have missed my opportunity for a good lunch spot. Coming down to a parking lot with some porta potties. And then, if you can see, I gotta climb back up into the woods. So it'll be a while before I have that first lunch. some people are interested in location and names and stuff. This is Beagle Gap. Be a great place for trail magic. Just saying. If I could manifest some trail magic, I would manifest some unsweetened, like not no sugar, chemically stuff, just unsweetened seltzer. That would be so good right now. This is amazing. Is it honeysuckle? It smells so good. Oh my goodness. Yum. This wheat, I think it's wheat, is so iridescently white. It's like glowing in its own way. I just saw an amazing apple tree. And I was gonna stop and film it, and I thought, no, if I stop and film everything, I'll have like a 4-part series to today. And I gotta keep going. And yet I wanna show all these amazing things. But if I showed all the amazing things, this hike would take forever. And it reminds me of, I think it's Alice in Wonderland, who said her dad suggested that she do 6 impossible things before breakfast. And I just love that. I think about that a lot, actually. That goes through my mind. 6 impossible things before breakfast. I want to see 6 amazing things before I get out of bed. And I want to see another dozen amazing things before breakfast. And they're out there, these amazing things. I'm glad I decided to hike up before eating. The sandwich that I have is giant, and it would have been hard to do the elevation gain on a full belly. And I was hoping for a view. Looks like I'll get a little bit of a view, but also some sun. So if I can't find a place in the shade to sit down, I might continue. And so it goes. This happens to me often, where I pick a spot, then it doesn't work, and I just continue. The trail's over there. This is the summit of Little Calf Mountain, and I found some shade. So, first lunch coming up. This is my giant sandwich. Isn't it huge? It's gonna be delicious. And look at that view. That was such a perfect sandwich. Oops. The only thing that would have made it better, I think, is some crisp romaine and maybe a fresh tomato. I see more sandwiches in my future. Well, the trail definitely provides. So I got started down after lunch and ran into somebody that I had met not too long ago, and he said, "You going back down?" And then I realized I was headed in the wrong direction, only for a few steps. And wow, I'm so grateful for that. I'm not sure I would have even caught on for a while. I was, here's my savior. So there's this big stack of rocks, and I think this means that this is the summit of Calf Mountain. So the first one was a Little Calf, and that's Calf. And now I'm going down to Calf Mountain Shelter. It's a 0.2 mile side trail to the shelter, which I wouldn't normally do, but I don't have a choice. It is the only water source on this leg of my journey. And I will have to decide whether or not to try an additional 14 miles, 12 miles, or if I will carry water. I don't think this is the source. If I will carry water to camp. Right now, I'm thinking I'll just grab extra water and then I'll have the choice. This is the spring. This is better. And it's not all the way to the shelter, so I don't even have to continue on. Even though I didn't have to, I decided to come down to the shelter. I'm not gonna do the 20-mile day, 22-mile day. It's just not how I wanna hike. So I'm gonna come down here, check it out, and maybe even do a little bit of yoga. It's really clean. The picnic table is under the shelter. Nice. There's a fire pit. There were several tent sites, and there's looks like a few good hammocking spots. One over there, one up there. Yeah, there's a bunch. I'm glad I stopped at the shelter. Yoga felt good. I did not do any yoga at the hostel this morning. It was full. There was a lot of people, and I could have gone out on the lawn, but I slept in instead, which was enjoyable. But I needed the stretch, and so I'm glad I took the time to do that, especially since I'm not doing the extra miles today, and I don't want to arrive to camp at 3 o'clock. If I keep the pace and take another break in a little bit, then my estimated time of arrival will be between 4 and 5. I'm gonna take this afternoon easy, and there is another spring I didn't realize in 1.3 miles, and so I filled up what I would need to have if there were no more water. But when I get to the spring, I'm gonna top off my water bottles and also get some water for camp tonight. I figure I may as well have hot chocolate if I wanted, or second coffee in the morning. It's hard to show the beauty through here. It's got such a different feel. Look at what I see. I don't want to get too close to scare it. It's a baby. Oh, and it's so beautiful. I am one lucky girl today. Well, now look what's in my way. That guy's hard to miss. I'm just going to see if I can go around it. All right, see ya. It's been a while. I haven't been doing much recording this afternoon. I've decided that since afternoons are my tough time, that's when I'll listen to my teachers. And so I was listening to a book, and now I'm approaching camp. So the weather's been beautiful, and today is good. I'm glad I'm not going any further. And I'm still struggling with that because out of everyone that I talked to today and additional hikers that I ran into, everybody is going further and I'm not. But I know that my feet are tender and that my knees are still puffy and that my right ankle is bothering me, and I want to take care of myself. And so I'm going to stop and have a really good night. And maybe I will check in once I have camp set up.